I am going to break down exactly how to turn plastic into money using your 3D printer. Stay tuned, this is High B 3D. Buzz buzz. Welcome back. Excuse me if I look a bit ghastly, as I've fallen a bit under the weather and there's really bright white light on me, which doesn't do my complexion any favors. Let's get right into it. In order to turn 3D prints into an actual viable business, there has to be numbers behind that. And I'm going to talk a bit of numbers today. Even though it's a bit boring, it's important. As 3D printing technology has become more accessible to the average household and the average consumer, a lot of people, including myself, have been thinking, how can I turn this into an actual profitable business? This is what I am here on YouTube to document, my journey in turning this into a profitable business. My very first event is tomorrow, and I'll make a video about that and upload it sometime this weekend. I'm thrilled, but I want to run through exactly how I'm pricing my prints to make them not only make me money, but to also make my items that I'm selling accessible to the people who are going to be visiting my booth. If you pull up to a booth and you see something like this, a simple model, now this one I'm not specifically going to be selling, this just happens to be on my desk. If you walk up and see this listed for $10, which many people do, if you search around online on Etsy or Shopify, people who are selling 3D prints, they raise the prices like crazy because of the novelty and viral nature of 3D printing. But you see something like this and it's listed for $10. I like this. I mean, I made it. I love the model. I keep it right in front of me on my desk, but I would not pay $10 for this. And that's kind of my approach. After I print a specific item, I hold it in my hand and I think about it and, picture in my mind, if that were at a booth, how much would I think is a fair price? And then I plug that into my spreadsheet, which I'm going to show you in a minute, to calculate my actual profit. Now, I am aiming for at least a 60% profit margin per item. That's very attainable with the price of 3D printing and 3D printing materials. Let's talk about that. If you don't want to listen to me talk about a spreadsheet, skip to the last chapter. Okay, so this is my basic spreadsheet that I have set up to track not only my inventory, but my profits and profit margins. So let's keep using the Snorlax as an example. Its title is Snorlax. Say it's in the category of toys. Price, let's say I'm selling this one for $4. Stock, I've got one of them. So this gives me a potential revenue energy of $4. This is the potential of my entire stock. So another example of this would be my alligator keychain. Selling these for $6 a piece. If I have 13 of them, that gives me a potential revenue of $78. Up here is calculated my entire potential revenue for my entire stock. This is kind of the master sheet, and these smaller sheets will track specific events, but we'll talk about that in a moment. Let's say the cost to produce this, which is usually produced by your slicer, or you can do the math yourself by finding the amount of material you're using and the cost of that specific material. I just use general averages because different types of PLA and different types of PETG cost different. And so I buy my PETG from 3D Max, spelled IIID Max, and that gets me an average of about $14.50 a kilogram because I buy it in bulk. And for PLA, it's about an average of $17 a kilogram. So without going through all of that, let's say the cost to produce this is somewhere around 20 cents, although I'm sure it's probably less. Now, you can see some things filled in here, but we're not quite done. I also need to consider the cost of printing. Now, this is getting pretty molecular, but I like this kind of stuff, and I like sharing it. And so I did the calculations with my energy provider to see how much draw my printer has, and on average it costs me about 6 cents an hour to 3D print. Now, quick, that the profit margins on these are still very acceptable even when selling them at a lower, very accessible price for people walking by. So, say the printing hours on this for my Bamboo Labs A1 combo would probably take somewhere about an hour and a half. So do 1.5 hours. That's going to take the calculations of 6 cents an hour and give me a printing cost. So my total production cost of this one item is 29 cents. Now we subtract that 29 cents from the $4 that I'm selling it at, and it gives me a profit of $3.71 per item, or a profit margin of 92.75%. That means for every dollar that somebody spends on this item, I'm getting almost 93 cents of that as increase. So as we go down all of my different things I have in stock here, and this is going to be an ever-growing chart, we'll see that things like these keychains have a very high profit margin, but other things such as my giant panda bear, right? This is not going to have nearly as high of a profit margin because of the cost to produce. But the main thing about these is I'm not expecting for anyone to buy this, but it is a great eye catcher to bring people in, something fun to play with at the booth. And if someone does end up wanting to buy it, that's why I have it at that higher price. So even selling this at $40, it cost me $12.31 to produce. That's a lot of filament. I believe this was with an average of $19 per kilogram of this PLA in particular, which puts me at a profit margin of 69%, which is still over my goal of 60%. So now that we've talked about our master sheet here, we're going to talk about the event-specific sheet, which is these columns here. Now, for the sake of realism, we're going to change our stock to 10 Snorlaxes, giving us a potential revenue of $40 for these toys specifically. Note that these all stay the same as they are item specific to one individual unit, one unit of Snorlax. Hop over here to my event, and oh, what's this section here? Let's hide it for now, but know that that's coming up soon. So this is going to calculate my profits and total material cost of items sold at the event. At the events, I'm going to be tracking on paper what is selling, because I don't have a way to automate this yet, which is something I'd like to do in the future, and will be making a video on how I plan to do that and how it goes. But for now, just know that things will be written down and done on paper, and then this spreadsheet will be updated post-event. Let's say that this item is popular, but we don't sell all of them. Say we sell 8 of them at the event. This is going to automatically populate with the material cost and subtract that from the total, giving us my total profit. Now let's say that the next thing here, this jewelry holder with no base, I sell 2 of these, which is my full stock, and we make $26.56 off of that. We'll enlarge this here. Now this will auto-populate and show me, once again, my total revenue and show me my full material cost. Now this is not accurate. Let me change it really quick. This will show me my full material cost for this specific event and my total actual profit. And here, this will auto-populate with, and here's the exclusive here for those that are watching early, I'm going to be giving away 10% of my profits per month to one of my followers. And there's going to be conditions. I'll make a video on it in the future, but to enter will be super easy, and I'm going to be giving away 10%. And so, for example, if I make $56 at this event, which I hope I'll make a lot more than that, I will be sending one lucky winner $5.62. Say we sell out my entire stock. Let's copy paste my whole stock here. All right. Say sell everything. Boom. That gives my total profit to $854, almost $55. And I will be giving away $85.50 of that. Stay tuned for that giveaway. Now, let's turn the camera back to me to chat a little bit more. Don't say I didn't warn you when I said that that was going to be really boring, but it is important to know if you too are going to try and make money from 3D prints. I'm going to update you on how the system works and how I change it as time goes on. The template for that sheet can be found in the description. I invite you to use it, play around with it, see if you can't make it better, which I'm positive that you can, or see if it works for you in your 3D printing business, and let me know. If you've skipped the boring part and landed here, this is basically a rundown of what I said. My philosophy for pricing my prints is to make them reasonable to the point that I make money off of them, but also they are accessible to the average consumer. My goal is to have at least a 60% profit margin per item, but will tend to have something closer to an 80 to 90 to even 100+% per item, while still maintaining that accessibility to the people walking by who just want to buy a fidget toy or something small. I could be proven totally wrong with this philosophy. I want to sell quantity and quality. A lot of people, they go straight for raising the prices way up above material costs. I don't want to do that unless that's the way to make money. Then I will, and I'll tell you how it goes. So next video will be a lot more exciting. It'll be the recap of my first ever sales event where I'll tell you the insights and things, how it went. So look forward to that. Should be coming out on Sunday night. Please consider subscribing and liking this video for more of this type of content. I am on a journey to make $10,000 a month through 3D printing and to let you know every step of the way. I'm High B 3D. Buzz buzz.